Yeah, Santa people. Okay, so I was up real late recording the episode of People from the Internet. So late that I had to record this little bit, well, this morning. But you gotta do what you gotta do. But I was talking to Sweet Bundy. He's a live streamer on Twitch. And we talk about Twitch, we talk about live streaming, but we also talk about the frustrations that come with being a creative, expressive person and the balancing acts that you have to make between doing what you wanna do and doing what you know is popular. So we talk about all that. So yeah, make sure you stick around. Let me know what you think of the things we talk about. Drop a like, drop a comment, and yeah, let me know if you have any suggestions of other people from the internet that you want me to talk to. But for now, enjoy. Yes, so Sweet Bundy. We've got man like Sweet Bundy on the show. So yeah, we're just talking about how you found about me. You mentioned sort of being raided, Pete doing on a physical gamers stream, and he raided
Hmm.
me, and I do remember a raid coming from. I mean, I can't remember specifically who came from that raid because it was a while ago now, but I actually do remember that
Yeah,
raid coming through. I guess it would be a little while back now. Um,
it had to be over a year or two. I wouldn't
yeah,
say it. I wouldn't say 2 years, but definitely over a year. Well over a year.
and with that, I mean, so I'd have to somewhat assume that you watch physical gamers streams relatively
Yeah,
regularly then. And with your own streams, was he streaming before you knew about PG, or was it after? Does he factor into you becoming a streamer at all?
I say that. I used to stream not like official like how we do now, where we got to make sure this is right, that is right. I'm talking about I was one of those streamers that I would just stream straight off my console, and I didn't care about the settings. I didn't care about the sound too much. Hell, I don't even think I was using a mic at that point.
Yeah.
So um, I got introduced to PG because of Berlizzi.
All right. All right.
I used to watch Berlizzi like crazy on YouTube. I still watch his videos or whatever. Both of them are incredible,
Hmm.
um, as you may already know. And um, like I said, about a year ago, well over a year ago, PG one time he just was like looking for somebody to just raid, I guess. And he saw that you were on and he was going in about how you guys did an interview and everything went so good and so well and
Yeah.
how in depth you were. So he did the raid, and ever since then I've been on your content, man. Like, you are a real down to earth person, genuine, and just your sense of comedy, like like the UK is mostly like their humor is mostly described as dry humor, and like I don't know if it's an insult or not, but me, I never took it as an insult because I like it. You get what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I won't be sitting
Yeah.
down watching a bunch of. I can't tell you a bunch of UK shows that I watch, but I like whenever I do find a UK comedian, I'm into that UK comedian. You are very versatile with your stuff.
Oh,
You're
appreciate you,
doing
man.
multiple platforms and everything. No problem. So, don't get it twisted. Like, people need to recognize, how hard you've been working at this, and I'm just waiting for the day where it all pays off and everything.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, man. I mean, I remember doing the podcast chat with PG. I mean, yeah, we're talking about. I mean, I can remember. It's got to be at least 5 years ago, probably even more than that at this point. But
Hmm.
I remember it being long as well. We spoke for it was myself, PG, and another gentleman, Mikey, and it must have been. I remember it was over 3 hours. It went for. Um, and but yeah, we spoke about all kinds of stuff, and I don't
Hmm.
remember what specifically. Now it was such a long time ago, but I remember we spoke about all kind. I mean, it's 3 hours. You got to speak about more than one thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, PG physical gamers. Yeah, he's done incredible. Like
He he works so hard, son.
yeah.
I love watching individuals like you, like him, like Berlizzi, work hard, and I try to use it as motivation to go ahead and do the same thing.
Hmm.
Um, because having people around you that does similar things,
Yeah.
it can motivate you to be better because it's like that friendly competition, and to see the growth too. Because like with you, you've been doing this for quite a while too, and I've seen
Yeah.
you elevate. Yeah, I've seen you elevate with stuff, and I love to see it. Like, you know, the content that you're releasing now is so like you're throwing it out there. As before, it's like, we'll get some content, but like right now, you've been stepping it up. I don't know if anybody mentioned it to you, but I want to be one of the first to let you
Oh
know you've been
man.
stepping it up. So
I'm
I'm
just.
glad to see that, man.
I mean, for me, it's like you try to do all you can while you can, and for
Hmm.
me, I do feel like there's an element of. I mean, I kind of joke a little bit, a kind of an inside joke with myself, where I say I get my stubbornness from my father. Where it's just when you want to do something and you decide. Because for me, it's kind of like, what else would I do? Like if I didn't do
Hmm.
this, what else would I be doing? Because I mean, yeah, you got to work, you got to earn money, you got to do all these things and pay bills and da da da. But then outside of that, what else are you going to do? So it's like, I'm going to be doing this, right? You know what I mean? Regardless, I'm going
Hmm.
to be doing this. So it's like, well, just keep doing it as best as you can, you know. Um, with yourself then. So I mean, you mentioned that when you sort of started, you were just sort of going from stream straight from the console. And I know
Yeah,
those like with PS4s and that kind of thing is very much just the basic stream that you can do with
it's the
it.
most basic, terrible
But
quality at times, man.
it's
It
yeah.
was just trash.
But what
Um,
made you feel
but
like
2019 is when I started doing the whole,
okay?
better quality.
So what made you kind of decide okay? Because I mean, because it's an investment to go from PS4 to sort of stream with all the different overlays. Because you got to get a computer, you got to get a capture card, you got to
Hmm.
get all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty decent investment, even on the lower end. So what kind
Hmm.
of made you feel like this investment is worth it? The money that you're going to spend on improving your stream and how you do it. What made you feel like this is going to be worth it?
Boy, you are right about the money. Okay, the investment part, hell yeah.
Right.
Uh, but I I wanted to do YouTube because I
Mm,
always wanted to go ahead and entertain. I wanted to do what pretty much like some of the YouTubers and everything. Like, I gotta say, Berlizzi really like made me want to do what he does, um, but not exactly. You get what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just want to entertain. I truly do. I just want to entertain, regardless of what it is. And I mean, yeah, I could be doing more as far as like for example, showing my face and everything. But I want to go at my own pace. I want to do it my own way. And maybe there'll be someday where I'll go ahead and show my face or whatever and do it like that. But let me do my own path, and but just seeing how like somebody could go ahead and keep you entertained. We went from watching shows on cable, you
Yeah.
know, every night, to now we just stick to our computers, our phones, and we watch these streams and everything, and they're just as good.
Mm,
And we're not paying, like, yeah, we pay the internet bill, but we could watch this content anywhere. We could watch it for free. We don't have to pay to watch these people provide content.
yeah.
And I want to do that. I want to go ahead and be someone or provide content that people want to go ahead and consume, just at the drop of a dime, like anytime when they're ready, anytime they need it. Like for me, when I get off of work or before I'm going to work, I like to put on somebody's stream and I'll just have it play. If I'm on break, having lunch, I'll go ahead and put on somebody's stream.
Mm.
So just that, like, I want to be a part of that. I want to go ahead and provide that.
Yeah, no, I see that. I feel like there's definitely a shift in how people consume entertainment,
Hmm.
and although I think it's still fair to say that traditional television is still sort of mainstream, but there is a shift happening. I feel like with things like YouTube and Twitch, the way we, the way we listen. I can remember like back in the day when a music video would drop, like a Michael Jackson music video, and it'd be like a massive big deal, and they'll tell you what time it's going to be on TV, and you had to make sure you were there, like you didn't have no chores to do or anything like that. You had to make sure you were ready to watch it, and we went from that to things like MTV, where they've had like music on all day every day. You go from that to having things like DVR where you can record it and watch it later, and then the internet where it's like it's just there. It's just there, right? They upload it and it's there. You might not be there when it's uploaded. Cool, you can watch it when you get home. It's there, right? And it's been such and I think especially with things like YouTube, that it's opened up doors to types of entertainment that probably wouldn't do well in the mainstream and on the internet. It doesn't need to, because whereas television needs to have a certain amount of people in a certain area watching it to be successful, the internet's like you could have one person in China, one person in Jamaica, 2 people in Australia, 5 people. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter because it's just there. So I definitely feel like there is a shift, and we'll probably see more of that shift as, say, the younger people sort of coming up as they get older.
Yeah, like TikToks and YouTube doing the shorts.
Yeah.
Like, wow, who saw that coming? Really?
I just read actually. Apparently, in the United States, TikTok has overtaken YouTube as the most watched platform on Android phones. So there you go. I mean, TikTok is predominantly a much younger audience. So I guess that's where all the eyes are going for now, at least on Android.
Almost everybody has a TikTok now. Even you're on TikTok, right?
I am on TikTok. Well, I mean, I am on TikTok. I'm kind of like, I will say that I don't fully understand it though. Like it's a weird place for me, and I post content there mainly as like because I make content anyway, and it's kind of another place to post it, so why not, right? Somebody might see it, so why not? But I mean I guess to be fair, I can't claim to fully understand any platform because they're always changing and there's always things that you wear. But TikTok, I feel in particular, just feels like a very strange place to me. Like how you can just see the most incredible like because it has the the For You page, right? And as you go through it, you just see the most incredible things, like whether it's a dance or like a really funny sketch or something like that. And then right afterwards, you'd have somebody, I don't know, nodding for like it's like, and I did I miss something? I don't understand why is this popular? Because you never want to be that guy who just hates on another person, right? But then at the same time, it's like I just don't understand what is going on here. Like what do you know what I mean? But then YouTube could be like that as well. So I guess it's just another version of it.
Man, I do find myself getting trapped. Not with TikTok. I don't really watch TikToks too much unless somebody sends them to me. Maybe it's because I'm getting old and like, because I still remember when they were saying that TikTok was about to be banned because it was like malware or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So call me paranoid, but that's the reason. That's the only thing that's holding me back from downloading it. But I'm about to give in because I can't lie. There's some content that I do find myself searching for on YouTube, because YouTube is still the centerpiece for almost anything. If you want to find stuff from Twitch, if you want to find stuff from Instagram, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand on that.
I mean, I know a few people do this where they would post sort of clips from their Twitch streams on TikTok. Is that something that you would consider doing?
Yeah, of course. I feel like this. See, when people do things like what you do, what PG does and everything, where you're using all the multiple platforms to promote yourself, that's the way how you do it. If you just use one platform, it's rare for you to go ahead and just be successful off of it. You get what I mean? You
Hmm.
have to expose yourself to other people. Pardon the whole wording of
Well, I mean,
that.
I guess that works too, but might not be the same results. Might be we might get a different type of fame out of that one.
But yeah, like you have to be on multiple platforms because people from YouTube will go ahead and say, you know what, I do want to catch this live. I do want to be a part of that. Or even vice versa. Oh, I do want to see how this turns out into a video, how he's going to cut it down. And like I said, I started with YouTube and uh, it didn't go too far. I found like I liked editing because I already learned how to edit from before I went to college. And then when I
Mm.
went to college, I went to like film school for 2 years, graduated. Um, that was a trash school, so that's a story for another time. But anyway, I learned how to hone my skills on Adobe Premiere. And so the editing part wasn't hard. The hard part was actually creating the content. I had a different demeanor when I was recording videos where I was like, I wasn't projecting my voice. So I was like, hey y'all, how you doing? Welcome to another video. you know,
Mm.
you have to project your voice. I'm not saying that you can't be yourself, but you have to realize people are watching you or listening
Yeah.
to you. You gotta, step it up a little bit. You can't just be that, laid back and yeah, but mumbling and shit. Um, so yeah, I knew that wasn't working. So then I decided to, sorry about that noise. So then I just went ahead and started to stream, and I realized the mistakes, and I started getting a little bit better at it. And it's been an off and on again thing with streaming, but I'm just trying to find that I have an itch about it, I don't know
Mm.
if you relate to it because I don't ever see you on off time, really, to be honest with you. I never seen you like take a big hiatus in anything. As far as I remember, I haven't seen a hiatus from
um.
you.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, there's been times where I've taken sort of extended time away from it, and I would
Hmm.
say for myself, one of the things that I've been doing, I guess, in recent times is just doing different things. So I've got the different channels, and what that means is that I can do say a movie video one day,
Hmm.
and then when that's done, I could do a comedy video, and then when that's done, I can do something else, and then when it's, and it just means that, and even the channel this goes on is like a vlogging channel, so it's just got different content anyway, and it just
Hmm.
means that I'm not like just only doing the same things. I feel like for myself that is what wears me out. If I'm just doing the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
I feel like for myself I just need to be doing something different each time, and yeah, so that's one of the things that I try to do. So yeah, I guess in one respect it would look like I'm constantly putting out content, which in technically I guess I am, but in my mind I'm taking lots of breaks, because between the time I do one thing and I do that thing again, it could be a week, 2 weeks, So
I get what you mean now.
yeah, so I guess it's a
Yeah.
way of taking a break without taking a break.
But there's nothing wrong with the way you're doing it because you're still putting something out. You from what I noticed, you haven't become stagnant. Just sticking in one spot and not doing anything. You get what I mean? Not producing
Mm,
anything. Uh, and I feel like that's important
yeah.
because it's way too easy to fall into a habit. Um, that's one of my flaws as far as when it comes to this streaming thing. Like, because it can get frustrating
Yeah.
if like it's time consuming. And for me, when I'm not streaming, I want to stream. But then when
Yeah.
I go to stream, sometimes I have an audience, sometimes I don't. When you don't have an audience and you're just going at it, it's frustrating.
Mm,
It's really frustrating, at least for me. Um, I know I tell people, I told anybody that took any advice from me or ever asked me for advice, um, for whatever reason they decide to ask me. But for anyone that asked me for advice, I told them always put on a show, whether there's somebody there or not, because you never know when
Yeah.
somebody's gonna watch. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna want to watch if you're acting all sad about, not having any people right there talking. Because there's been times I'm watching somebody stream and I may be the only person in the stream. I don't know. Because Twitch doesn't really show you everyone that's watching.
Hmm.
They'll give you that little 1, 2 viewers, but actually you have like at least 5
Yeah.
watching.
Might
Because there's been
update right away and.
yeah, I've been watching, like I pay attention, I'll watch. My only thing is that I don't engage in chat enough. Like I don't go in there and say, "Hey guys, just letting you know I'm watching." I don't do that. I just watch because I'm entertained by the people I watch. So, but yeah, to bring it back to what I was saying, like that frustration is what keeps you from like hitting that live button. At least I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah.
Um, and then you go 1 week without doing it, 2 weeks, and just becomes a habit to where you're like, next thing
Yeah.
you know, it's been like in my case, it's been like almost a month, or it has been a month already since I streamed. But I'm still making content. Just now, I'm gonna be the Fuser streamer. Fuser is that game you probably saw me play a couple of
Yeah.
times, that
Yeah.
DJ game
The
and all
music.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, but I don't want to be like how an actor doesn't want to be typecast. I don't want to be typecast as the Fuser streamer. I want to be the variety streamer.
I think that's one of the frustrations with content creation in general and, creative people because, any kind of advice you get is typically along the lines of when you do something that people seem to like, that's the thing that you keep doing. And that's good
Hmm.
advice, right? In terms of growth, because if it's popular, people want to see it, you keep doing it. The problem
Yeah.
is that as an individual, you can't just do the same things. Like I feel like, especially when you do feel like there's other things you want to be doing. And then it's like, okay, cool, you play Fuser and people watching, that's great. But then you play something else and nobody watches, and it's like, that sucks. And then
Yes.
it's always that kind of that decisions or balance that you trying to have between, you need to be yourself, right? And
Hmm.
being yourself means doing different things. But then if you want it to work out, you need to do what's popular, and that means doing the same thing. So it's that's always going to be a difficult balance to kind of strike. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I know you mentioned that you haven't streamed for a while, but how do you feel like, if you come back to streaming? I hope you do soon. But how do you feel
Oh, I
like
will.
you're going to manage that kind of balance in terms of being the variety streamer, but then also understanding that certain games are just are popular, and that's what people really want to see more.
Um, Really, it just comes down to what you want as a person. So, like, if I really want numbers, I'm gonna have to do what brings numbers, and that sucks. But it's you gotta do what you gotta do. I feel like the strategy I would approach if I took like if I started bringing in numbers with Fuser, like I was doing, I know the biggest numbers I was bringing in with Fuser was when I was doing drunk streams. I am not drinking liquor for any. No, I'm not doing that again. But
Wow,
I
that
will be willing to stream Fuser for quite a while to bring in some numbers. That's fine. But it does suck, like you were saying, because it's like what I want is to just be versatile and just do whatever I want and just be myself, and then have that be what attracts people.
mm,
But if it's not enough, then I just gotta accept that for now, because it can always change.
yeah,
People could come for this one content and then stay in the long run because
yeah,
of you as who you are.
yeah. I feel that definitely does happen. You have people who will come because of a particular video that you might have put up, or a particular game that you
Hmm.
might have been playing, and I don't know, let's say out of 3,000 people, I'm just making numbers up, but let's say just out of every 1,000 people, one, maybe two people stick around. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of these things that when you say that to somebody, like I feel like if I said that to anybody who's not in this kind of space, it sounds like the most inefficient way of doing anything. One out of every 1,000 people stick. Why would you do that? But I feel like that's part of this whole journey is that you kind of need to be a little
Hmm.
bit crazy to do it because, like, it's not always going to make a whole lot of sense as to why you would do something versus something else. And I do feel like there's an element of that, of just like abandoning logic to some degree when
Yeah,
you do things like this. Or, I mean, how do you feel about
I feel like there is definitely insanity involved. Okay, I feel like every streamer has a little bit of craziness in inside their head.
that?
No offense to anyone, but I feel like you have to have a little bit of craziness in your head. To,
Hmm.
whether you're a small streamer, big streamer, whatever, because you have to realize that it's a lot to project. Whether you're doing a personality like you know, the doc,
Oh, right. Yeah.
from Twitch, right? A personality like that, or if you're just being yourself and just exaggerating elements of your personality, like again, like PG or Berlizzi, you know, you have to have some kind of insanity because you're exposing yourself to people and they're consuming you, and like they can really find out more about you than you may want to let on. You're
Hmm.
inviting all these people into your lives and you don't even know who they are because they're
Yeah.
just names and they could change names. They could be using multiple names at the same time, all that crap. And then Twitch itself, you know, I mean, yeah, there's streaming on Facebook, Instagram. Sometimes I'm hearing people stream on Instagram now. I don't know how true that is, but I know definitely there's still YouTube,
Yeah.
Facebook gaming. Facebook gaming took over Mixer.
Right.
So all of these different people, all of these different platforms, they're taking in your content and they could easily find out a lot of personal information about you. Um, but you're trying to disregard that and just make content and just
Hmm.
uh entertain and do whatever. Some people do it for money, some people do it to entertain, some people do it for both. Me, I go with the philosophy is with if you're good at something, don't do it for free. you know, I
Well,
go
yeah.
with that saying.
Well,
Yeah.
indeed. I mean, that's was a quote from the Joker says that in the Dark
Yes.
Knight. Yeah, if you're good at
Yes.
something, never do it for free. Which is true. I mean, I feel like that there's truth to that. When if there is definitely the element of understanding your value in things
Mhm.
and not let people. I mean, on one hand, it's like I feel like it's a bad idea to place money as the number one thing, especially if you are more of a creative person. Putting money as a number one thing might not necessarily be a great idea because it means that your decisions are based more around what's making money and not say what's being more creative. That being said, you ideally don't want to get taken advantage of either.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, you're on Instagram. You might have seen things like this where you might get an email or a DM from some company, and they will say something like, yeah, we've been looking through your feed, you're really crushing it right now, and we think you'd be ideal for a collaboration with our affiliate program or stuff like that. And then you keep reading
Mhm.
through it, and it's almost always the same sort of deal where they want you to buy clothes or whatever from them, and then model the clothes to your followers, and then if any of your followers buy, using the link that you provide, then you get like a little kickback from it. And it's just like, this doesn't sound like a good deal at all.
Yeah.
And but I imagine there's probably lots of people who do take them up on that offer. That's why they keep emailing it around. And perhaps, I mean, the way I see it is that if you're approaching me to collaborate in that kind of way or to sell something for you, then I mean, not to sound big headed, but you're approaching me, right? Why am I buying
Mhm.
your clothes? That doesn't make sense,
Exactly. Give me some free gear. What are you doing?
right? We need to be talking some money about. I have to buy your clothes and then model your clothes and then maybe I'll get something like what?
Like,
Um,
probably.
yeah, yeah. But yes, I do think there's definitely something about understanding your value, and making sure that you're not being taken advantage of, because it can happen. I'm sure lots of people do get taken advantage of in the creative space. You know.
Yeah. I see it quite a lot where they try to anybody that's like kind of getting up there with numbers, they try to take advantage of them because
Mm.
there's a lack of education on that part.
Mm.
You know, when you're new to something, you could easily get taken advantage of. You could get scammed or whatever. I've been approached like back when I say back when I started streaming and I finally started to get numbers up. I was ranging around like it's still a small number, but still um, like 10 viewers or so. I was bringing in those kind of numbers on a regular because I had a routine, I had a schedule, and I was consistent. That's one of the elements that you have to keep for streaming, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but from my experience, that's the main elements right there that keeps you like relevant. It keeps people coming.
Mm.
So, um, long story short, I was approached in the DM about some sponsorship. I forgot the sponsorship anyway, but they wanted me to sell their clothes or whatever, or promote their clothes, and they were going to pay me for the commission or some shit like that. I never took it up. You know, I never went with it because if I'm going to promote something, I want it to be something that I actually use. I don't want to like.
Mm.
I'm. Don't get me wrong. If you give me enough money, I will sell out. I'm gonna let that
Hey,
be
we
known
all got a
right
price.
now.
We all got a price.
Damn right. I got bills to pay. Okay, and this job it pays, but the taxes take out a lot. Okay,
Mm.
so I'll take whatever money I can get. However, if the price isn't good enough, I'm not going to go ahead and sell out for a low price. I'm not.
Mm.
I may be a whore, but I'm not a cheap whore.
No, I get that. I get that. High class escort. You know.
You damn right.
I mean, not this ain't a booty call thing. Like this is this credit card ready. You know, wine take out to a dinner, fancy restaurant. You know, wear a
Hey,
suit.
listen, you gotta treat me like what is it, Julia Roberts, from Pretty Woman?
Oh wait, is that the
That
one?
that was Julia Roberts, right?
Yeah, I've seen Pretty Woman. I think I'm sure I've seen Pretty Woman. It's a long time ago though, because
Yeah, man.
I'm
I've
thinking of
only
the
seen it like
one.
once impartially.
There's the film. It's not Pretty Woman. Indecent. I think it's Indecent Proposal, where like some millionaire offers like $1 million or something like that to sleep with this dude's wife. You know, and I can't remember. I think it was Indecent.
Oh, that's
I'm
a
pretty sure
whole
that's
different
Indecent
movie. I
Proposal.
never heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, the 80s was wild. The 80s. I'm sure it's a Indecent Proposal. I'm pretty sure it was an 80s movie. 80s or 90s. Either way, 80s, 90s, it was a wild time.
I gotta see that movie now.
It was a wild time. A Pretty Woman. I remember I remember watching it. I don't remember what happens in it. So it's a long time.
All
Richard
I
Gere, Julia
remember is
Roberts.
that,
Yeah.
Julia Roberts is an escort, and then she finally finds like this rich guy, and then he starts treating her all right. And I think they got together in the end. And I'm like,
Hmm.
hey, whatever. Everybody got to find love some way, you know? I guess that was the
Hmm.
moral of the story.
Well, I mean, whores deserve love too. The way I see it.
Yeah, they
Everybody
work
deserves
hard.
love, whether you whether you're selling it, or whether you sell a bit. Everybody deserves love.
Hey, listen, if I had it, I would sell it too.
Hmm.
Okay. If I had whatever it was that was worth buying, I'll be selling it too. I don't care.
There is this thing with when it comes to sponsorship, and I guess more so on YouTube than on Twitch. I imagine it's probably a similar thing there as well, where some years back on YouTube there was this kind of thing where people would be taking these sponsorship deals or promotion
Hmm.
deals and not being clear that they're being sponsored, and just
Yeah.
doing like videos where they would promote a product and not being clear that they're being paid to promote that product. and then there was like I think it was the FTC or one of these governmental bodies or whatever that sort of stepped in and were like, nope, you have to be clear about these things, you know,
Yeah.
and be open about it, upfront about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true actually. I didn't know it went that deep, but I know definitely they're supposed to let you know they're promoting something. I don't mind the whole ads like Nostalgia Critic on YouTube. I've been watching him since I was a kid, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, I love his content. I don't care what anyone says. Nostalgia Critic, I love the hell out of his videos. I'm talking about every goddamn video he makes as Nostalgia Critic, I watch. And he started doing, and he's not the only one. He's just one of the primary people. I can tell you that I watch his videos. I don't skip the ads or anything. Don't get me wrong. I gotta admit, I'm one of the people that use ad block. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't like that. For example, when I don't have ad block on, they show me commercials from my job. They didn't start showing that until I started going to my job. So it's like tracking cookies or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. Yeah. However, for the what he started doing was he makes a skit, which is promoting the ad, you know, and I watch it. I don't skip it. Uh, and one of the main reasons too, not just because it's entertaining, but because that's how I show my support. I mean, I could take off Ad Block Plus, but man, I'm tired of seeing commercials that are a violation of my privacy. But I learned from I don't know if you ever heard of him, but the completionist on YouTube,
I've
Gerard.
heard of them. Yeah, I don't think I watched any of his videos actually, but I'm pretty sure I've heard the name around there.
He is so down to earth. He asked people for help when he was completing the Avengers game, Marvel's Avengers. Because what he does is he completes the game. Like he doesn't just beat it. He gets all the achievements, everything, all the collectibles, everything, and he makes a video about it. Basically reviewing it and then going into depth about how what's required to 100% this game, how many hours he had to put in, what he had to do. That dude is so down to earth. Like, holy shit. I love the people I've got to meet on Twitch and YouTube. Like I said, one of the main reasons why I've been following you since that raid, like, your personality is so genuine. Even if you were just doing a character, like if you were doing a character, not saying that you were, but I'm saying if you were like being different and you were showing a character, if you did like the way how you do shit, man, it's just cool as hell to me. Like I dig it. So that's why I love the people that I've been introduced to on these platforms, man. But anyway, my main point is Gerard taught me that YouTube really pays attention to what people skip on. And he
Right.
used to have this section where he'll say, okay, if you want to avoid spoilers of the game, skip to this part. But that started to pull him off the front page, which isn't fair to the content creator. Which also goes back to some of the struggles, like what we were kind of dipping into a little bit earlier about some of the shit that content creators have to go through. Not only is it a struggle to get up to that level, but now you have to fight hard to stay at that level because nobody's telling the average person, I don't want to get spoiled of a game that I'm going to buy, so I'm going to skip to the part where he tells me to skip, right? But now consequently that's fucking up his gains. Now they're pushing him back, pulling him back, and making him suffer for it, for looking out for the fans. So now he got to stop doing that. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
no, it is, and it's really unfair because I think YouTube is a lot of things, a lot of great things, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of frustrations I have with YouTube,
Yeah.
and that's one of them when it comes down to how it's the people who are doing things the way they're supposed to be doing it according to rules and being respectful and all that sort of stuff, timestamps, letting people know if they're going to have spoilers or this, that, and the other. end up being penalized, because like the way the algorithm works, and it's something that I think a lot of people have kind of spotted a while, that as much as YouTube as a company would say you should be doing this, 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 and this, the way the algorithm tends to work, at least how it seemingly works, is that it does ultimately promote the people who are breaking the rules,
Yeah.
and it sucks. It
Yeah.
sucks. Because then it's like,
They're even
okay,
trying to get rid of the damn thumbs down.
the okay,
Yeah. Like,
bit
for
odd.
example,
What?
you can't thumbs down a short video. You could give it a thumbs down, but it won't show how many thumbs down it has.
Oh right, okay. So it's just you can thumb it down, but it just won't give you the number. Okay.
Yeah. They even start like before, back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, you could correct me if I'm wrong if you remember, but back in the day, when you hit thumbs down on a comment, they would show how many dislikes the comment had. So then they
Yeah.
got rid of that. But now they only show the likes. The reason why that's important is because um, they think, oh, we're promoting, we're trying to keep people's feelings from being hurt. But there's been times where I'm watching. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I download TikTok, I'm going to be addicted because I watch YouTube Shorts before going to bed sometimes,
Hmm.
and you get lost. You'll end up watching like 100 videos because they're only like 5 seconds, 10 seconds long,
Yeah.
and there are videos that shouldn't be on YouTube. It should not be on YouTube, and they'll have some false title to go ahead and be like clickbait, and they cheat the algorithm, and they'll get up there. So you end up seeing the content. The video's trash, or it's not even a matter of opinion. It'll be something that's disgusting or whatever,
Hmm.
um, and it will just be getting a lot of views. But you don't see the dislikes. See, if you saw the dislikes, you'll avoid that video, if you can. So yeah, man,
I
I
mean,
don't.
yeah. I mean, YouTube's a bit odd when it comes to how it recommends things. I mean,
Mhm,
I'm not sure about the shorts because I guess they're still relatively new the way they're promoting that. But I
mhm,
know in just in general, it doesn't, strictly speaking, matter too much about how many dislikes a video gets because it tries to promote to you what they think you specifically would like, and it does that to varying degrees of success.
mhm.
Sometimes we get it exactly right. That you it presents a video. The video might have a million dislikes, but you personally might enjoy that video. So as
True.
much as so the dislikes tend to be more of a thing that it uses to gauge what you might not like rather than what other people might not like. That being said, yeah, when a video has like a million dislikes and one like, there's probably a good reason for that.
Yeah.
Not definitely, not definitely. I mean, I'm sure there's examples. I think PewDiePie did one video where he's like, "Can we get a million dislikes or something like that?" And that was the whole point of that video. But I feel like
Yeah.
most times if you got vastly more dislikes than likes, most times, not all the time, but most times is probably a good reason. But then again, I don't know, people troll, people,
True.
and I think just in general with YouTube, people don't strictly speaking like something because it's a good video. They might like it because you might have an opinion that they agree with, or
Mhm.
you know what I mean, or something like that, or they like your
It's what's
shirt that you're
popular at the
wearing,
moment.
or yeah, you just have to be like if you're one of their favorite creators, it's going to get like anyway, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So the like dislike thing is it's about as meaningless as it is meaningful. I feel it's cool to get the
Yeah.
likes, but if you're not, yeah, oh
I
well.
missed the 5 stars, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
was the whole 5-star rating thing.
Yeah, that's going way
Yeah,
back.
right. That was
now
early
now
days
I'm
of
really feeling
YouTube.
old.
Early days of YouTube, man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a
You
little
gotta
bit
treat them
old
like
school
Uber,
YouTube then. Like yeah, get
yeah.
that 5-star rating. None of this like no. Hey, you put that 4-star and it asks you like what the reason is. It's like,
Yeah.
bruh. It's like no, let me just give
And
it
they
5.
and
I
they
don't want to pull
won't
this out.
let you skip. They won't let you skip. I remember, I take a Uber almost regularly, and sometimes I have a driver that's just driving like he's drunk. He'll go into the intersection. Mind you, I don't drive, but if I don't drive and I know that you're messing up, that's really concerning.
Mm.
You're going into the intersection, then looking left and right. I'm talking about middle of the intersection, looking left and right. What are you doing? So I give this person a 4-star, maybe a 3-star, and they're like, "Hey, what happened? Why not 5?" And I just want to skip so I can go to work. It's not like I'm not tipping the guy. I'm still tipping the guy. But damn,
What, you gonna
let me
tip the
go.
drunk driver? Maybe you shouldn't encourage it. I'm just saying that sounds like a bad idea, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, if he's driving drunk, you should probably put that in the app. That
Right?
you might save somebody's life, actually. Yeah, and definitely don't give him a tip if he's driving drunk. But
We'll be going straight to the liquor store afterwards.
Yeah. Well, what do you I mean, because you talked about those that are 5-star on YouTube. What do you remember old school YouTube like back in the day? Like, I mean, was you putting content up yourself, or was you watching stuff, or what was YouTube like for you? So let's say, I don't know, 2006, 7 ish.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Listen, I was really into the anime and all that. So the content I used to make was AMVs. I don't know if you already know about them, but animated music videos.
I remember those. Yeah.
So like, remember the age of Linkin Park and Dragon Ball Z, or Linkin Park and Naruto? Okay, I was one of those people.
I remember watching quite a few of those, actually. I might have even watched one of your ones, who knows? But I remember watching quite a few of those back in the day. So yeah, I might have seen one of your creations.
But yeah, because I liked the whole just putting things together that you wouldn't think would match. Like, you wouldn't think Dragon Ball Z would match with Tupac, right? And then to actually make it work, it felt cool. It was, and that's the part about content creation that you want to capture. You want to capture that moment where you just do something because you think it's a good idea, you think it's cool, not because of how you think people are going to react. Back then, I was a kid and I was only creating stuff because I wanted to create it. I just wanted to put it out there, and that's it. I didn't care if people watched it or not. I was like, I just want to post this so I can watch it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of passion, if people could find that now, like especially when they're older and they're wiser and they know how to really, handle their talent and all that, you could do a lot with it. So yeah, I was just making YouTube videos like that, AMV slideshows with Windows Movie Maker, crappy ass Windows Movie Maker. Okay.
Yeah. Oh snap. That was terrible, even back then. It was the worst.
So bad.
It was never good. It wasn't like, oh, it was good, but no, it was never good. It wasn't
even passable.
It was just free. That's
it.
You get it free with Windows.
Like, you should be thankful that it worked for what it did. That's it. It was crappy. You couldn't use certain video files on it. You could only use WMV. It was, oh my God. So yeah, that's why I was cringing when you asked me about that. I was like thinking about all that. Don't get me wrong, I still like some AMVs, and I've been like, every now and then I'll listen to a song and I'll get like an itch to be like, man, I could really put it to this one show, but nah.
Yeah, I remember like way back in the day, early days of YouTube as well. I don't know what year, probably 2007, around about then at least anyway. I did not so much an animated music video, but I did remember making a video that was a montage of action scenes. So all these sort of clips from action movies. And then I put it to, what was the song? It was I've forgotten the song. It was a Godsmack song.
Let me guess. I Stand Alone.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
I stand alone. But
yeah,
a similar sort of thing, like you said it. You just doing it because it was fun to do. It was just something you wanted to at the time. You weren't really thinking about, whether it gets popular or not.
You didn't care about the view. You didn't care about
things
any
like
of that. Now
maybe
it's
somebody
like
sees it or whatever. But You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, I think there's something to be said about that kind of creativity from an innocence. You know, that I guess
Yeah.
in as you get older, it sort of goes away to some degree, no matter how much you try to hold on to it, and it's just the way kind of how life takes over, I suppose, when you kind
Mm-hmm.
of get to that point where you never want to feel like you're doing it for the money, right? But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, you'd like to make some money from it, right? You know, like I'm not saying I don't want any money from, you know what I mean? If I could
Yeah.
make a few, you know, I would have, you know, it's kind of like that. And then, but then it's also, again, it goes, as what we were saying before, that kind of trying to balance things out between, you know, trying to be true to yourself as a creative, as an expressive way, um, without diluting it with the whole thing about, okay, this is what's going to make me popular. This is what's going to make me money. This is what, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. And that can be a difficult balance to strike at times, because you know we do put a lot of time into whether it's YouTube or Twitch, and
Yeah.
you know you got bills to pay, you've got, you know, maybe responsibilities, and maybe you're running a business, maybe you've got people you need to take care of, maybe you've got kids, maybe you've got, you know, all these sorts of things that come on. And it's like, yeah, you could have a full-time job and maybe do this in a part-time, but then that takes away time from this, and then you're trying to manage that, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
it's a massive juggle. So there is always going to be that thing where you're like, I mean, I could just do these sorts of videos for a while, even though I don't necessarily want to be doing them, but I know it's likely to make me a bit, you know what I mean? It's always that thing. And then
Yeah.
it becomes like, well, how much am I giving up of myself to do that? And yeah,
No, you're
it's,
right. Like, I think it's because as you get older, you have a pressure of, in the back of your mind, I can't waste time. I can't
mm,
waste time. Time
yeah,
is running out. And I notice as I'm getting older, time is going by so fast.
mm,
And I speak to other people and they're saying the same thing. So I know I'm not going crazy. I'm not saying that time is actually moving fast, but
yeah,
it's
it's just
like as you
feeling.
get older, your brain is like skimming through the pages at this point. Whereas
Mm,
when you're younger, you're just going insane. You're like, there's so much time. Like, oh, I can do that later or whatever, It's whatever. I'm not
mm,
saying that everybody thinks like that. I'm saying in a general sense, I think that people naturally have that mentality. When you're younger, you feel like you take time for granted. As you get older, yo, time is ticking.
yeah,
You got to do something.
yeah.
So
I feel that
you
could
feel
be, well, at
pressure.
least a big part of it, yeah. Just that
Yeah.
whole thing
And
about
another thing you hit on too.
your own mortality.
Yeah. Yes. But another thing you hit on too is production, right? Production.
Mm.
Making like a video that could be like 8 minutes, right? To the whole production of that could be hours and hours. We're talking about making the video, editing the video, and not just, people think you just flip a camera on, you go off, and then you just cut it up a little bit. No, you got to make sure you
Wow.
do it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well.
I mean, sometimes, sometimes.
But you got to choose, like you got to do it right.
Hmm.
You do it right. Some people are very, uh, like a perfectionist. They work like a perfectionist and it will drive them insane. Some other people, they're like, okay, this is good enough. And then you post it and then you're like, I should, you know what, let me take it down and do it again. I know
Hmm.
some people like that. I've been like that sometimes. But yeah, man, it just the time and all that and the effort, it could drain a lot out of you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And especially if it's like, you know, if you do have sort of other things going on in your life,
Hmm.
that video that, like, say, maybe 8 minutes long, it might take the average person, you know, say 5 hours to complete. But if you've got other things going on in your life, then that might take you 5 days, you know,
You damn right.
or
Yeah.
weeks, you know. So by the time you put it out, it's like you might even forgot what the hell you were trying to do in the first place. It's like, man, what was I doing talking about again? Like, what's this video supposed to be like? You know. But yeah, it's yeah. I think time is definitely a big factor in that, because you do become a lot more aware of how finite it is. You know,
Hmm.
as you go through life, and the the ancient Romans, no, Latins. There's a Latin phrase. It goes "memento mori," which means remember your death. Which I came across that phrase many years ago. It's kind of stuck with me, and I just feel like it's something to try to remember because I mean we are all going to depart this
Yeah,
earth at some point, and it could be soon, it could be later. We don't know. So for me, it's always
yeah,
like that thing about do I do how much can I do while I know that I can still do it, because I guess in essence all you really have is this moment. Everything else is how lucky you are. you know
yeah. It doesn't even matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what, you could lose your life quite quickly. Like if I were to ever be fortunate enough to have kids, I like when they're a little older to understand words and everything. You get what I mean? Like
mm,
I'm definitely going to be one of those parents that, and some people might disagree with me on this, but I'm going to teach my kid about death at an early age because
mm,
I want them to get a head start on so many people. Like if you forgive me for being a little controversial, but I feel like there's always a fear. When I was taught religion when I was a kid, there was some fear behind it. If you do
mm,
bad things, you're going to hell. That's why I was taught.
mm,
Um, so I feel like teaching them about death, yeah, it's scary, but if you utilize the time that you have, like you were just saying, it could be very beneficial to you. You can use it as motivation. Fear can be motivation.
mm,
If you're like for example, you could be running a race, and if you got a fucking dog chasing you, you gotta be running faster than you ever would have ran without that damn dog behind you. Okay. So I don't want my kids living in fear, but I want them to, like if I had a kid, I want my kid to live with purpose. I don't want them ever wasting time and going on and being like, man, I regret not doing this or I regret not doing that.
mm.
And yeah, that's a lot of pressure, but I think that in the end it'll be worth it. And I'm not gonna ever force them to do something. I'm just going to teach them something and hope that they use that information to their best
Yeah.
ability.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that. I mean, maybe we're just getting into sort of semantics here, but I do feel like fear. Not, I mean, I don't know if I will consider fear a motivator, but I do think that fear is definitely one of these things that needs to be understood. Because on
Mhm.
one hand, I feel like it's not necessarily a good idea to operate out of fear, because you could easily end up making wrong decisions. That being said,
True.
if you are feeling fearful of something, it's important to understand why you are feeling fearful of it. What is it about this thing that really scares you?
Mm.
What is it that you are really
Yeah.
worried about? And try to understand that thing. Why do you feel what you feel? And I think the same when it goes to things like anger and or hatred and those what we consider say negative emotions. They I think all emotions ultimately are there to tell you something or to teach you something. So trying to understand why you feel that is important, and maybe there the motivation comes from. But I don't know, like I say, we'll probably just say the same thing in different ways.
Nah, you said it better. Yeah, if you understand
Well, it's
why
not a
you're
competition,
afraid of something,
but
nah, seriously, if you understand the fear, it's a better way of controlling it.
Hmm.
It's a better way of benefiting from it.
I have a friend. He has an acronym. That's the right word. Acronym for
Hmm.
fear. Where two acronyms where he says fear could either mean feeling excited and ready, or it could mean fuck everything and run. It's it's up to you how you interpret it.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's well, I don't know, that could be good advice, I suppose.
Yeah. Why not? Because like sometimes I'll be scared, but it's in a good way. It's
Mm,
kind of hard to explain right now. I can't even go off the top of my head with it. But yeah, there's been times where I've been afraid, but in a good way.
mm.
I would say like, yeah, when I just started my job, it was something new to me, very new. And yeah, like I was scared of messing up. I was scared of messing up someone's money. I was scared of like getting someone angry and not being, I can't argue and be myself. I'm like, yeah, fuck you, and start going off. I can't do that. I'll get fired. I already bought the blazer and the shoes, and that already cost me over $200 easily. So yeah, I'm not trying to get fired anytime soon. Uh, plus, like I said, I got bills to pay. Okay,
Yeah, I hear that.
man. And once you start making, if you start making money off of Twitch, yeah, Twitch will let you have your $100 per month if you make that minimum, at least. If you make the minimum at least, then yeah, you'll get the $100. But if you start making over 500 or something, that's when taxes like coming around sniffing and taking money right out your damn pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I don't even want to talk about that part. I just got done with the IRS and everything.
That's the part of sort of consecrating that I think a lot of people don't even realize, because I mean I'm sure the laws are different between the UK and the US, but I imagine there's some similarities in the sense that at some point you have to register yourself as self-employed, and stop. You can't be just like taking money and be like, oh, I've got £1,000, I've got £2,000 or whatever it is. I think that's just all. No. Listen, if there's one thing our government is good at, it's collecting taxes. Like, you could criticize them on so many things, and they this wrong, that wrong. I don't like the way they do this. When it comes down to it, the one thing that we could all agree that they are very good at is getting their money. So
damn right.
You best believe, man. Like, right, yeah, register yourself self-employed. It sucks. I get it. In fact, Chris, what did Chris Rock say? He says that you don't pay taxes, they take them. So yeah, I get it. And when you're self-employed, it's like you kind of have to give it to them. You have to fill out the forms and be like, "Here you go." It sucks, man. It sucks, but it's either that or go to jail. So
yeah, and not only that, they'll still take your money. They'll throw you in jail and still take your money.
Yeah. Like, man, was it Wesley Snipes went to jail for it? Lauryn Hill, Al Capone. Listen, if they can't get away with it, bro,
you damn right.
Come on, man. Come on, don't even bother. Just pay.
Billy at Walmart better pay his taxes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thought that's a good place to start winding down and wrapping up. Mr. Sweet Bundy, is there any last words you'd like to say? Any last messages or things to get off your chest? Or I don't know, where can people find you? What you're doing and that sort of thing. Any last things you want to say?
Man, I feel like we definitely have to at least briefly talk about the whole versus between Donda and CBL, Certified Lover. No, CLB. Sorry,
Certified Lover.
I'm not gonna
Boy.
be disrespectful to Drake. Here's the thing. I'll go first, and I'll be honest with you. I only listened to both albums once, right? And Kanye's album's long as hell, but I'm a Tupac fan. I've been a Tupac fan since I was a kid. Now, I'm not about to compare Tupac to Kanye, so calm down, people. Calm down. But Tupac used to release double albums, which you may already know because you're into a lot of music, right?
Yeah.
And I'm used to listening to, so I just considered it a double album. There's like 27 tracks on that damn Donda album. Mm-hmm. And considering that I guess is a dedication to his mom, I understood. For Drake did the usual thing. Kanye did something where it's more spiritual and had a gospel kind of background, which is kind of the direction that he seems to be going in with music as of late. If you were to ask my opinion on which is better, I got to go with the Kanye album just off this first listen for both albums, just off the first listen, because what Drake put out, I didn't hear anything new. The only new thing that kind of had me like, that's cool. I never heard of somebody do that before, was sample "I'm Too Sexy."
Okay, the right that was Right Said Fred. I don't know how many people realize that, but that was a Right Said Fred song. I'm too sexy for
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
shirt. Too sick. Yeah,
I
old
now I
school
don't I
song.
didn't remember him by his name, but I definitely knew that song. I grew up in the '90s,
Yeah.
so I was like, it's nostalgic for me. I was like, oh, okay. I like when people do something like that. I don't like when rappers take a melody that's familiar and then put their own words to it. Uh, so that's the only difference I don't like.
Hmm.
What I mean by that is like take a well-known melody that you know from any rapper, like uh, what's the, like a Biggie line. I'm trying to think of a popular Biggie line. Help me
Oh,
out, Bandit. A
let me
popular
see.
Biggie line, or at least uh
Too
okay,
old,
Run
Malo used
DMC.
to call me Fatso. Now they call me Castro. My rap flows, militants, yo. Okay,
Ooh.
let me not repeat that one. Actually, I'll
Hey,
just let me
you
stop
started
right
well
there.
though.
Let me stop right there before I get cancelled because but some of these '90s lyrics actually come.
Right?
We listen. What I say before, '80s and '90s were wild. So let me just
Yeah.
leave it there. It's a wild time.
Okay. Run DMC, right? Um, what's that? What's the line? You're gonna know this better than I do. Sucker MCs.
I don't think I do actually.
Oh man, we
I
got to
mean,
do a listen party someday, son.
to be honest, I will say that.
I,
I mean, I
I'm.
know as much as I know about Run DMC. I was
Mhm.
around when they were at their height. At that point, I wasn't really listening to a whole lot of hip hop. So there's probably a bunch of stuff from them that I mean, I guess I would know a few songs, but yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff that I probably don't really know too well from them actually.
All right, but I'll bring it to a home. Well, I mean, I bring it to a close. What I mean, like, is you have a melody that's well known. Everybody
Mm,
knows that one lyric, right?
yeah.
Apparently, we were just slipping, but you know that one lyric by that one rapper, and then another rapper will go ahead and do the same melody of that line,
Hmm.
like say it the same way, but saying different things. For some reason, I don't know. I'm nitpicking, but that irks me. And I see Drake do that a lot. So I didn't really hear anything new from Drake. From Kanye, I heard a couple of new things, and it wasn't all gospel. So I ended up liking, I say 4 songs out of the 27. And mind you, this is just my first listen to
Hmm.
again. So that means like I'm listening to like a minute or two, and now I'm skipping, right?
Okay.
And that's just because like at the first listen, it's like I want to get the songs that I want to like right off the bat, and then I'll go back for a second listen. That's how I do when I listen to albums. It's rare for me to just listen to the song from start to finish on my first listen.
Okay.
You listen to the whole thing.
It's what you're supposed to do. Like, it's an album. You're supposed to listen to it from beginning to end. Like,
I
skipping
can't.
songs.
I can't. Okay, so this is the thing.
Like, there's a reason they put the songs in the order that they put them in. They're not just like,
Oh,
oh,
then this is gonna piss you off.
uh,
I put my
you
shit on
listen to them
shuffle.
out of order. Oh my word.
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's like going to a restaurant and then we get your food and then put salt in it before you've even tasted it. That's what that's like. That's all kinds of wrong.
you know, it's funny because I do that.
Oh my days, mate.
Oh,
Oh,
but yeah, I do plan on listening to the albums again because I love music, man. I love music, and I can't wait to like have another conversation like this with you because I do want to dive into music.
hmm.
Also, we got to definitely say rest in peace to Michael K. Williams.
Yeah,
Crazy,
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Um,
You was a
man,
big fan of his.
yes.
Yeah.
See, for me, it was sentimental because like I lost family members, very, very, very close family members.
Mm.
I say over the past 5 years, I lost two of them, very close. And we watched like some of his shows, primarily um, The Wire.
Yeah.
That's how I got introduced to him. And then I saw him in I even saw him before The Wire. Before I even watched The Wire, I saw him in Trapped in the Closet. Uh,
Oh
you know,
yeah, yeah.
the infamous Trapped in
Well,
the
yeah.
Closet, you know?
Less said about that, the better, to be honest.
um, I also saw him in Bullet, which is the same movie with Mickey Rourke and Tupac, of course. 'Cause like I said, I was a huge Tupac fan. Still am. Still am. So I've seen his face a couple of times before, and to finally see him in The Wire, I was hooked. And then I watched Lovecraft Country when it first came out, and then I watched it again recently this year. I'm talking about I just finished a second watch through last month. Last month.
Mm.
So this guy has been prominent. I've been a fan of his. So for us, like at least speaking from a standpoint, when you kind of grow up or sort of like had years watching this person, it's a one-way street, but you still do feel like some sort of connection.
Yeah.
You have this admiration and respect for this person that may not even know you. I mean, doesn't even know you exist, but still you have that respect and love for them, and I think it's normal, right?
Yeah.
Like the
No.
same kind of love you have for like someone like an individual like Dave Chappelle, Will Smith, and so on and so forth.
Mm.
This man was incredible. His acting was superb. You could feel the raw emotions, like even down to his facial expressions. He was in Boardwalk Empire as well, and just incredible acting. Wasn't even and He was the type of actor where if he had a character, they tried to typecast him, but he still played it differently.
Mm.
Chalky White, which was the character from Boardwalk Empire, is not really similar, despite both of them being gangsters, is not really similar to Omar Little from The Wire. And then don't even get me started on the character from Lovecraft Country. Definitely not like them. I mean, shit, you could say there's some similarities between Omar and Lovecraft Country's character, uh, but that's just a little joke if you happen to seen both of those shows. But it is such a shame to watch somebody like that, somebody so talented and having so much to offer the world, be taken down by something that they just couldn't let go from their past before they reached that success. And that's what hurts the most. Like if it's something like a tragedy like Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, as well as all the kids that lost their lives and everybody. Um, it was a tragic accident. It wasn't really a choice. This was, something where you fell to, your addiction, and that's what hurts because it's
Oh.
like, you don't know what could have stopped that besides because if somebody was there and slapped it out of his hands and said, "Hey, don't do that," yeah, you stopped it for that moment, but whatever is causing him to want to do that in the first place is still there in his heart or his head, and that's what hurts. Like you keep thinking about that, like until you truly get help, you're never free from that kind of battle. And
Mm.
look at DMX, and these are men. These are strong, talented, successful men. DMX, I grew up on listening to DMX almost every goddamn week, at least. And DMX went out like that. It hurts, man. I really wish that this will be the last time, but it's not going to be. You know, uh, as we get older, we see that time repeats itself with just different scenarios. That's it. Same bullshit, different people. No, same game, different players. That's it.
Yeah. No, I didn't see the cause of death. So I'm just looking it up now.
Mm-hmm.
Just the top article saying possible drug overdose. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, I would say that. I mean, he was an actor that I was aware of. I didn't watch The Wire, which I know a lot of people love
I
that
am
show.
getting you to watch that. I'm getting you to
Um,
watch it.
for didn't see Boardwalk Empire. I think I probably didn't see most of the thing that he's really sort of known for, but I know he was in the Assassin's Creed movie, and yeah, the trapped in the closet, the those that shall not be named. um, but to be honest, I would say the thing that I know him mostly for was a RoboCop remake. You know, where he played Jack Lewis. Which I
I didn't know
mean,
he was in that.
yeah, he. I mean, it's not what you'd typically call a great movie, right? It definitely has its issues, but
Yeah.
I would say that I mean I've watched it a few times, and I would say that it's probably better than most people gave it credit for. You know, it's definitely an entertaining film. You know, it has its sort of quirks. It's it definitely does a lot wrong as a film, but overall it's pretty entertaining. It's kind of light-hearted, don't take it too seriously, that kind of thing.
Good, as it should be.
Yeah, he doesn't. I guess it's not really a big role in the movie, but it is a relatively prominent role throughout, and he actually gets shot a bunch of times in the film. It's like, all right, cool. That's what we're doing. We're just gonna shoot the black guy.
Have you seen the Netflix show When They See Us? Because he's in there too.
Oh, the one based on
On the Central Park Five.
Central Park. Yeah, I have seen that. I didn't know. I mean, well, I guess I would have seen him in it, but maybe I just didn't spot him in there. But okay, okay.
He played the father that was he had to give up his son. No, or he thought giving up his son was the right thing to do.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
And great acting, man. Great acting.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you could see something, and then I guess you don't always like recognize or spot it, and it's just
yeah. I mean, as an actor, you want to blend into your character. You don't want them to be like, every time when you see Will Smith, you're like, hey, that's Will Smith. Don't get me wrong. Will Smith is a great actor, but there are some times where he's just, you could tell when he's like, okay, I'm the actor Will Smith, or I'm just Big Willie. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So Happiness, Pursuit of Happiness, that's actor Will Smith. 6 Degrees of Separation, that's actor Will Smith. Film. Big Willie is Suicide Squad, Deadshot. That's Big Willie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a different kind of persona and a sort of take on the characters where I feel like there's films where Will Smith becomes a character, and then other films where the character becomes Will Smith. You know, so
I think that's a fault with the directors. They cast them and they're like, oh, we got to get Will Smith in here. We just have to get Will Smith. And Will Smith gets on the damn set and he's like, all right, so what? Tell me more about this character. Oh, just be yourself.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. All right. But yeah. I guess that's where we're gonna gonna wind it down. Rest in peace to Michael K. Williams, and rest in peace to everybody who's passed on this year. There's a lot of people who've passed away.
It's not even over yet.
Yeah. So to the countless unnamed. But Mr. Sweet Bundy, big up to you for coming through. Appreciate you taking the time out to chat with me for this podcast, tubecast type adventure I'm embarking on.
This was good. I was already looking forward to it. My job was trying to call me in today. I said, listen, I got a podcast to do at 5.
Yeah, man's a big star now.
I put money aside. Said, no, I got to do this. Fuck that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be cursing too much on your podcast. I've been holding back too.
So good, man. So good. So good.
But I was like, hell no. I'm sitting down with this man right now. I'm doing this. I don't care. So I have fun. So I appreciate that you even gave me the opportunity to do it. I had fun, man. And I'm willing to do it again anytime you're ready. If you need me to go ahead and recommend you people, I got you. I already gave you one recommendation.
Yeah, yeah. I've been looking up
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Invincible, so yeah, I'm gonna have to look up more of
Yeah,
his
man.
stuff, and yeah, just might. We just might. We'll see. We'll see.
I hope so, because y'all have, well, like I said, I'm really enjoying a lot of the people that I'm getting introduced to. I like genuine people, and both of you are genuine. I've been watching both of y'all for well over a year now, and I'm talking about hours. If I showed y'all my damn hours or channel points, hell, I've been watching before the channel points were introduced. I'm telling y'all, I'm hooked. You get what I mean? If y'all
Uh,
were on cable, y'all be on my favorite channels.
big man thing.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Oh, thank you for joining me. Thank you guys for checking in, for watching, for listening. Drop comments, drop suggestions. Let me know what you think of all the things we talked about. Like, share, all that good stuff. But that's gonna be all for now. So, guys, until whenever, if ever, peace.